Jimmy Butler has officially been traded to the Golden State Warriors in a deal that centers around Andrew Wiggins. You can check out the full trade details on the screen if you want to pause and take a closer look. But the big question now is, can the Warriors win another championship with Butler on the team? Could this be Steph Curry's version of a final run, like a last dance? Hey, it's Mike here. We're deep into the NBA trade deadline coverage, so if you want to stay updated, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on those notifications. Now, the Warriors were rumored to be looking at several all-star players before the deadline. So why did they decide to go after Jimmy Butler specifically? What makes them believe he's the missing piece? Honestly, it's not an easy trade to judge right away. Jimmy Butler is 35 now, and his numbers have dropped this season. He's averaging 17 points, 2 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, his lowest scoring average since his fourth year in the league. Is this decline because he's just been checked out in Miami? Maybe. Back in December, there were reports that he was changing his hair color before games to quietly hint at the teams he wanted to be traded to. So it's possible his mind has been elsewhere all season. Even with the dip in stats, I'm not too worried, at least not yet. We all know Jimmy Butler has a history of turning it on when the playoffs roll around. Jimmy Butler has built his reputation more in the playoffs than the regular season. Yes, he's a 6-time All-Star and has made the All-NBA team 5 times, so he's clearly had strong regular seasons. But it's playoff Jimmy the Warriors are really counting on right now. Golden State has a record of 25-24 and sits in 10th place in the Western Conference. Time isn't on Steph Curry's side. He wants to finish his career competing for titles. And if the Warriors can just make it into the playoffs, can you really bet against a duo like Steph and Jimmy? There's good reason for the hype around Butler in the postseason. In the 2022 and 2023 regular seasons combined, he averaged 2 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 7 steals per game, solid numbers for any All-Star. But in the playoffs, he took it to another level, averaging 1 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 9 steals per game. That's the kind of production you'd expect from an MVP. When it matters most, Jimmy shows up. He doesn't shy away from pressure, he thrives in it. He's proven he can be the best player on the court in almost any playoff series, maybe with the exception of the 2020 finals against LeBron James. And in the playoffs, sometimes it really does come down to who has the best player on the floor that night. Just think back to the 2023 playoffs. Remember that shot?
The lob for Jimmy, makes the catch, put it up and in! He put it up and in!
Let's rewind to the 2023 playoffs. The 8th-seeded Miami Heat were up against the top-seeded Milwaukee Bucks, a team that had won a title just 2 years earlier and was led by Giannis Antetokounmpo, a former MVP still in his prime. But Jimmy Butler wasn't fazed. He hit a wild buzzer beater to force overtime in Game 5, then helped lead the Heat to a stunning upset, beating the Bucks 4-1. In that series alone, Jimmy averaged 37, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 8 steals per game, all while shooting nearly 60% from the field. That's unheard of against the league's top team. Performances like that are why some people jokingly call him Michael Jordan's son. With that win, the Heat became only the 6th 8th seed in NBA history to knock off a 1 seed in the first round. And Jimmy wasn't done. He then led Miami past Boston and into the NBA Finals again, the second time since he joined the team. Now, the big question is, can he still play at that level? Honestly, it looks like he can. Sure, his regular stats are down this season, but that might just be because he wasn't that motivated to play for Miami anymore. When you look deeper, the advanced numbers tell a different story. Even though Jimmy has the lowest usage rate he's ever had in a Heat uniform, his true shooting percentage is 63.8%, the second highest of his entire career. That ranks 20th in the league, and his win shares per 48 minutes? They're at 232, which is not only the 4th best mark of his career, it also ranks him 5th in the entire NBA. If Jimmy Butler had played enough games this season to qualify, his stats would rank among the league's best. So at 35, it's clear he still has plenty left in the tank. The real question is whether he'll still have it at 36 or 37, but only time will tell. Now, what's the potential downside of this trade? Before the deal went through, there were reports that both Steph Curry and head coach Steve Kerr had concerns about how well Jimmy would fit into the Warriors' locker room. That's something worth paying attention to. Quick break to thank DraftKings for sponsoring today's video. With Super Bowl 59 coming up, it's the perfect time to get in on the action with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Back to basketball, on the court, there's really no question that Jimmy is an upgrade. Andrew Wiggins played a key role during the Warriors' 2022 championship run, but this season, his numbers have dropped below even those of 35-year-old Butler. So, from a performance standpoint, Butler brings more to the table. And if you compare their personalities, Jimmy is known for his toughness and confidence. He thrives under pressure. In terms of pure competitive drive, most people would pick Butler over Wiggins. Maybe everyone except Wiggins' parents. So why the concerns about locker room chemistry? That mainly stems from the drama Jimmy is leaving behind in Miami. We won't go too deep into the Heat side of this trade because, frankly, it's a tough pill for them to swallow. They've saved money by moving Butler, which they wanted, but in the process, they've weakened the team and don't have a clear path to a title anymore. Then again, some would say they didn't really have one with Jimmy either. But there's no denying what Jimmy meant to the franchise. He gave Miami everything, carrying them to 2 finals appearances and becoming a fan favorite. Still, it wasn't always smooth sailing. There were moments of tension. Just watch this clip from the Heat's bench during the 2022 season and listen to what was being said. Udonis Haslem isn't someone known for emotional outbursts, so when he got into it with Jimmy Butler on the bench during the 2022 season, it definitely raised eyebrows. And let's be honest, calling Jimmy Butler confident doesn't quite cover it. He has a big ego, but that same ego helped turn him from the 30th pick in the NBA draft into the star he is today. That mindset has done wonders for teams like the Heat at times, especially in high-pressure situations. Still, it hasn't always been smooth. And I think this moment from JJ Redick's podcast says a lot about who Jimmy really is.
Do you think I'm, just that hard to work with?
When Jimmy Butler asked JJ Redick on his podcast whether he was difficult to work with, you could tell JJ felt uncomfortable. He didn't really want to answer. It's no secret that the Sixers made a huge mistake choosing Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons over Jimmy. The results speak for themselves. Since then, the Heat have reached the NBA Finals twice. Meanwhile, the Sixers still haven't even made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is what you get with Jimmy: incredible talent, unmatched toughness in the playoffs, and a strong personality that can be tough to manage. He left Philadelphia after learning the front office was asking whether they could control him behind the scenes. Jimmy didn't take that well. His response was simple: "I'm a grown man. Why do you want to control me?" But to be fair, this isn't unique to the Sixers. Jimmy has left every team he's played for on rough terms. We talked about the Sixers, but did you know it happened in Chicago too? Just listen to what he reportedly said to then-coach Fred Hoiberg.
Jimmy wasn't getting along with Coach Hoiberg. But last game, Jimmy got attacked. Jimmy was upset. Coach Hoiberg is like, "Jimmy, this starts with me and you. What's going on?" And then Jimmy goes, "Well, 1, I think you're soft. 2, I don't like you." Coach Hoiberg was like, "Well, then you, Jimmy."
Then there was his time with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jimmy asked for a trade that summer because he felt the team's 2 young stars, Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, were too soft. Instead of showing up to training camp, he kept himself in shape by playing pickup games at a local Lifetime fitness gym. But then came one of the most infamous moments of his career. On the same day, he scheduled a national TV interview with Rachel Nichols. Jimmy surprised everyone by showing up to Timberwolves practice. What happened next became NBA legend. He took a group of third-string players and beat the starters. During the scrimmage, he reportedly pointed at the GM and shouted, "You bleeping need me. You can't win without me." And right after practice, according to Jeff Teague, Jimmy showered, did the interview, and was gone.
I run the locker room like, "Jimmy, bring your ass back out here. We want to play again." Jimmy gone. Jimmy gone. Jimmy at home. We go in the locker room, ESPN pop up.
You know what time it is?
Rachel Nichols and Jimmy Butler on TV. We like, what the? He like, "Yeah, I just killed them at practice and I think they all good players." We like, what? Hold on.
With all of these past situations following Jimmy Butler, it's understandable why the Warriors might have a few concerns. After all, they'd already have Draymond Green, a guy known for his own history of clashing with teammates. Let's not forget, Kevin Durant openly said that one of the reasons he left Golden State was because of arguments with Draymond. To be fair, aside from that heated moment with Udonis Haslem a couple of years ago, there hasn't been much major drama surrounding Jimmy in Miami until this season. This year's issue was pretty straightforward. The Heat didn't want to pay Jimmy the contract extension he was looking for. After leading them to 2 NBA Finals, he felt he deserved to get paid. But team president Pat Riley thought Jimmy was simply too old for that kind of investment. The Warriors clearly disagree. They're paying him now. And just to be clear, I don't think this was the ideal way for a superstar to leave a team. But if we're being fair to Jimmy, the Heat also failed to bring him the co-star he needed. Pat Riley never got him the extra help to seriously chase another title. Butler had been asking for more help since the Heat's original finals run in 2020. Even when Damian Lillard made it clear he wanted to play in Miami, Pat Riley and the front office couldn't close the deal. The Heat were the favorites to land Dame, and somehow they dropped the ball. Then there was last year's playoffs. After Jimmy said the Heat could have beaten the Celtics, Pat Riley publicly criticized him for speaking out. That kind